What is going on, boys and girls? We are back with another video. This time we're doing a new topic that we promised. We're going to be doing indices. What we're going to do is we're going to do a lesson with a tutorial in simultaneously, right? So we're going to be doing that Math Genie paper. Math Genie is a very good. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but Math Genie has done a good job of creating this or putting together content on these math topics. So make sure you check them out. So let's get to the tutorial. Like we said, the tutorial is about indices, and we're going to attempt these questions. As you can see, we haven't attempted them on this slide. As usual, we're going to go through the rules, and then after we go through the rules, we're going to attempt the questions. Okay. Now, rules governing indices. Well, do you know what an index is? Just pause the video and think about what an index is. Well, we're not going to go through that in this video, but if you're doing this kind of maths, like I usually say, you already know what indices are. We just need to know how to work with them, multiply, divide, subtract, add, whatever, right? Um, from the last slide that we saw, we're going to use the following rules, right? We're going to use the first rule, which is multiplication of indices, where if you find indices that have the same basis, we know that, oh, we should just add the powers, né? This is what this rule is saying. A to the power m multiplied by a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. We're basically going to add the indices if the bases are the same. For example, if we have a to the power 3 multiplying a square or a to the power 2, like we're saying, you should add the powers, which means we're going to have a to the power 3 plus 2, which is basically a to the power 5, right? So whenever you find indices of the same bases multiplying each other, what we're going to do is we're going to add the powers, right? The second rule is the division of indices rule, whereby if we have powers of the same bases while the other one dividing the other, the key word here is they have to have the same bases, right? For multiplication and division. So what are we going to do? We are going to subtract the powers. Well, the first one is going to subtract the second one, right? For example, if we have a to the power 5 being divided by a to the power 2, we're basically going to say the powers, right? We're going to subtract the powers 5 minus 2. And then we're going to end up with a to the power 3, right? The other rule that we're going to consider in those questions that we just saw on the other slide is whereby a power is being raised to another power, right? If you have a to the power m being raised to the power n, what we are going to do is we're going to multiply the powers now. We're going to multiply the powers instead, as we can see in the following example where we have a to the power 2 being raised to a cube or being raised to the power 3. What we do is we multiply the two powers, 2 times 3. This gives us a result of a to the power 6. Hopefully you have, okay, by this point in time you have a notepad or a pen or a paper and you're noting these down, right? So you can also pause the video, take a screen grab, and then we're going to refer to these rules as we go through the worksheet or the tutorial, right? Let's attempt the first question. The first question says we should simplify x to the power 8 multiplying x to the power 3. Um, Forgive me for this. I just noticed it now, and I don't want to redo the video. So, so the mistake here is the bases, right? So in the example, in the question, it says x to the power 8, but you can see that the basis we have there is an a, not an x. But anyway, it's similar, right? It's similar. When you have bases that are similar, what you do is you add the powers, right? Whenever you multiply. So we're going to say add. We're going to add the 8 and the 3, which gives us an 11, right? Which gives us an 11, and that would be our answer. So the correct answer would be x to the power 11. Don't mind that, that's just a typo. It's like let me give you an excuse. It's like 18 plus 12 midnight, and yeah, that's the only excuse I have. But anyway, let's go to the second question. It says we should simplify 5y being raised to the power 3. So the rule that we're going to use here is the rule that says the rule that talks about a power being raised to another power, but we do not involve that part where we have a constant along with. No, wait, we didn't cover this rule. I'll do a bonus video for this rule, but anyway, this rule says, apologies, it's like 12 p.m. and I wanted to create some content, but anyway, I'm a bit sloppy. This rule says whenever you have two, that's a coefficient and a variable, right? That's a coefficient and a variable, and then they are both being raised to a power, right? They're both being cubed. So, which means that whatever's inside the brackets is going to be cubed. The cube is going to apply on both the contents of the bracket, which means 5 is going to be cubed, and then y is also going to be cubed, which means 5 cubed is basically 25, because that means we're going to multiply 5 by itself 3 times. 5 times 5, 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And then the y is also cubed. It remains like that, right? So that's our answer. The next concept is basically that of division of indices, whereby we have indices of the same basis dividing each other. It means that we're going to subtract basically, right? Where we're going to have 7 subtracting 4. This gives us w to the power 3, right? Very easy, very, very easy. Now for the next question, you're going to do it yourself just to test your knowledge. It says you should simplify a to the power 9 multiplying a to the power 4. You know the rule, right? Just pause the video and then go through it, but the answer is there. Okay, the next question is going to follow B. It's going to be similar to 1b, where everything inside the bracket is going to be cubed, right? Which means 4 is going to be cubed, and then b squared is going to be cubed, and c also is going to be cubed. Now, pay attention to b squared, what we applied there. Well, 4 being cubed is very easy, but the challenge for most students is the b squared being cubed. Whenever a power is being raised to another power, like we said, we multiply the powers. That's why we're getting, for 4 cubed, it's 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 4 is how much? 64. And then for b squared, the powers multiply, which means 2 times 3, it's basically 6. Therefore, we get b to the power 6. And then c being cubed remains as c being cubed, and that is our final answer. Similarly, for 2c, you're going to answer it yourself. Like we said, whenever powers of the same bases are dividing each other, what do? Good boy or good girl. There's your answer. If you got the right answer, just give yourself a pat on the back. For the 3a, the next question, we're going to simplify 2m squared multiplying 5n to the power 6. What we're going to do is the coefficients are going to multiply each other. 2 and 5 are going to multiply each other. Since the bases are not the same, we're just going to leave them like that, and then our answer is 10m squared n to the power 6. For the next question, you're going to do it yourself because it's similar to 3a, but I'll just roll the slide for you because I'm a good person, I'm a good guy. Make sure you give me a like and subscribe. Yeah, so the coefficients divide each other, and then the powers subtract each other. Subtract each other. Can you see that? I gave you a wrong answer. Comment the right answer in the comment section, and I'll give you a thumbs up. That answer is wrong. The 3b. I mean, I'm not perfect, and it's like 12 a.m. So make sure you give me the correct answer in the comment section, and I'll give you a heart. So for the next slide, we're going to do a different set of questions, but still on the Math Genie document. Remember, make sure you pay attention to whatever I say, because like the other slide, one question was wrong, right? So make sure you refer, like I said, give me the correct answer. I'll do a bonus video where I go through the wrong answers, and I'm sleepy, but sorry for a sloppy video. I know this is not my usual thing, but anyway, let's attempt to answer this one. We're going to go through the rules in the next slide and then attempt the questions. The rules continued. We're going to deal with fractional indices in that set of questions. Well, you're going to have a situation where a base is being raised to a negative power. This would be how you deal with it, right? It's you if you have a base being raised to a negative power, you just write it under a division sign, or just write it as a reciprocal, right? Like that. Hopefully, you know what reciprocal means, right? It shows we go through it in this example here, where we have 4 to the power negative 2. We write it as a reciprocal, where we have 4 to the power 2 being under the division sign, like that, just like in our theory there, right? And then sometimes they would want you to give the value, so you would have to find the 4 squared, which is basically 16, right? 1 over 16. It could be any number, or it could be any variable. So that's how you deal with it. And then the next rule is the zero index, where any power, raising any base to the power 0, it's going to give you 1. Whenever you raise any base to the power 0, it's going to give you 1. Even 100 also, even if you power 100 to 0, it's going to give you 1. Even whatever big number you can imagine, if you raise it to the power 0, it's going to give you 1, right? Okay. So we're going to do a tutorial from Math Genie. I will link the document on the description box. So yeah, you can print it and then do it with me, or just take out a pen, a paper, and let's do this together. We're going to start by converting these fractions into recurring decimals, and yeah, it's going to be very easy. Let's start first with the rules. We're not going to go a lot into the rules because we have a video where we discuss these rules in depth. So bear with me. Just pause the video, take a screenshot, and then you'll be sorted.